Hey everyone, and welcome back to Brian's Horror Movies for Life. And welcome to this 1983 horror movie review as part of my overall 1980s horror movie series, an ongoing series on my channel. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at a movie that I don't have the physical media for. It's a movie that I streamed on YouTube here, and that movie is entitled A Night to Dismember from 1983. So yeah, let's go ahead and talk about A Night to Dismember. A Night to Dismember is a 1983 American slasher horror film produced and directed by Doris Wishman. The film stars pornographic actress Samantha Fox as a psychotic young woman recently released from a psychiatric institution who is driven to kill by an ancestral curse. It was the first and only foray into the horror genre by Wishman, who mainly directed and produced sexploitation films. So the movie opens. The Kent family of Woodmire Lake is thought to be subject to an ancestral curse that causes each of them to be murdered or commit familicide. I didn't even know that was a word. Bonnie Kent is among the first found hacked to death with an axe by her sister Susan. After committing the murder, Susan slips into the bathroom and falls on the blade, killing herself. Later, Broderick Kent's wife, Lola, is found murdered in the bathtub. He initially denies involvement, but soon confesses to the murder before hanging himself. Broderick's niece, Vicky Kent, is later sent to an asylum for murdering two neighborhood boys in August of 1981. 6 years later, Vicky is released from the asylum, apparently cured of her homicidal tendencies. Her release is against the behest of her brother Billy and sister Mary, both of whom want her recommitted. Upon returning home, Vicky's parents, Adam and Blanche, struggle to help her assimilate. Vicky attempts to rekindle a romance with her ex-boyfriend Frankie and is soon plagued by hallucinations. One night, Frankie and his new girlfriend are murdered by an unseen assailant during a sexual tryst. The killer decapitates Frankie before burning his head in the fireplace. So yeah, that's to set up the premise, the beginning of A Night to Dismember from 1983. As far as the cast goes, we have Samantha Fox as Vicky Kent, Diane Cummings as Mary Kent, Saul Meth as Adam Kent, Miriam Meth as Blanche Kent, William Sarka as Billy Kent, and Chris Smith as Sam Kent. Yes, there's a lot of Kents. There's a lot of family members in this movie, all in the same family of some kind of relation. I'd like to tell you that you hear the title A Night to Dismember and you think, wow, this might be an underground, unseen, untalked about 80s slasher movie. That's a hidden gem. No, no. There's nothing gem-like about this movie. This movie's a mess. And before I get into my review about it, part of the reason it's a mess is the backstory goes that the director, Doris Wishman, after she shot the movie and sent the prints and the footage to the production studio, the production house, there was a fire that burned 40% of the footage. And so as a result, you don't have the full movie that she shot and that was made. You end up getting basically a hodgepodge of a bunch of scenes that were left that did not get burned to somehow try to make a competent movie. And unfortunately, there wasn't much left of any competency here in this movie. Now, apparently there's two different versions of the movie. There's the one that I watched on YouTube, which is the uncut, the longer version, which is 79 minutes. And then apparently years later, they were able to find some of the lost, what they thought was the lost footage. Which if you get the DVD, apparently that's 70 minutes. And that has, in quotation, in air quotes, the more competent made version of the movie, which I have a hard time believing there's any competently made movie or a version that makes sense of this movie at all. But I'm not about to rush out and spend the money to get this on DVD just to see if the shorter version of the movie is somehow more sensical version that I actually want to own. I don't think that it would be. So, with all that being said, now you'll know why I'm about to rip this movie a new one here. So, let's get into the pros first. The title of the movie is effective in getting a slasher fan to check it out. A Night to Dismember. I mean, that's classic 80s slasher right there as far as the title goes. Also, the poster for this movie looked pretty cool. Again, it makes a person want to check it out. Um, I will say the movie is only 79 minutes or 70 minutes if you get the DVD version. So it's just over an hour, uh, which is good because if I had to watch any more, I think I'd probably be. I think it would probably mess with my head in a negative way. And I will say there are a lot of kills, and so you do get a fair amount of blood and gore in this movie, mostly blood. Um, and it's not all that convincing, especially as it relates to it as a kill standpoint. But there is blood and some gore in this movie, so yeah, those are pretty much my pros for A Night to Dismember. Now let's get into the cons. And again, remember this is the bad version apparently, the longer uncut version, but it's an uncut version that you're actually worse off having the uncut version because what you get here is just a bunch of scenes that are thrown at the screen. It's just a complete incoherent mess with no structure or story. It's like a bunch of random scenes thrown at the screen without a through line or having a point to it at all, frankly. It's very hard to figure out exactly what's going on watching this movie. Um, in fact, sometimes I pull up like the I pull up the synopsis of the film online just to kind of follow along, and a lot of what it talks about wasn't even in the movie version that I watched. Yeah, there's no point to this movie. As far as having any idea of what's going on or anything making sense, it's a complete nonsensical mess of a movie. It has a musical score and a sound design that is like nails on a chalkboard. It borders on driving a sane person mad. Um, and that's all the way through the movie from beginning to end. The movie lacks enough lighting to be able to see much of anything that's going on. Obviously, it's a very low budget, basically a no budget kind of movie. The production value is very, very low. It's like a shot on video made on a weekend kind of movie. But it's got below average cinematography and really rough camera work. It kind of looks like a student film. I mean, it really does. Sometimes you get those very low budget films, and like that grainy quality also gives it more of a creep factor to it. Not the case with this movie. It really looks like a high school student made it, to be honest with you. The editing is abysmal, especially with the kill sequences and kills. Where you got like this what the hell did they use? I don't even know. You got like this knife or this dagger, this axe, I guess it is. And the axe basically comes down on somebody's neck and like touches it like a pinprick. And the head lops off the body. I mean, there's the special effects are not in this movie. They're beyond bad. They don't even give it a sense of realism whatsoever. Laughably bad production and execution. The whole movie not only has a narrator that they added after the fact. The whole movie is narrated by this I don't know what he is to explain what the hell's going on in the movie, since the movie itself doesn't tell you. But it also has some of the worst over like dubbing over that has like 3 to 5 second delays throughout as the mouths move and the words are heard some seconds later. So that's a thing too. Even though the movie was shot in English, they dubbed it over. Quite honestly, the movie's just a really painful experience to get through. 79 minutes for me felt like 179 minutes, and that's about as kindly as I can put it. So, again, I would not recommend this movie for the majority of people out there unless you're one of those people that are even like I enjoy low budget independent underground kind of films to a certain extent, but even I don't like this one. So you'd have to be somebody that's very that would want to check it out just to be able to laugh at how bad it is, like the cheesiness of it, um, the very low budget, low quality, low everything nature of the movie that you can somehow get some enjoyment out of. I'm not in that category, but I know there's people out there that do like more shot on video, less quality, cheesy sort of slasher movies, just so they can watch and get some entertainment out of it. Me personally, this is a 1.5 out of 10 for me as far as this movie goes. I'm giving it a 1.5 out of 10. Would the DVD version rate higher for me? Yeah, maybe it'd be a 2 or a 3. Not exactly. It's not exactly going to go from a 1.5 to an 8.5. So, anyway, with that being said, 1.5 out of 10 for A Night to Dismember from 1983. If there is anybody out there that's seen this movie, whether it be on YouTube or the DVD version, comment down below your thoughts on this movie. Do you kind of view it the same way I do, or are you somebody that actually likes it and gets some kind of enjoyment out of it? I'd be curious to know. With that being said, please like this video, hit the little notification bell, and subscribe to my channel. If you haven't already, it would really help me out with the future content of my channel going forward. But with that being said, yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you're enjoying. I mean, when you review all the horror movies from a certain year in the 80s, you got to watch. You can't just watch and review all the good stuff, or the hidden gems. Possibly, you gotta review some bad movies as well, and this is certainly one of those. So, but again, overall, I hope you're enjoying this review series as we stroll down the 1980s here. But yeah, with that being said, thanks for watching, and as always, stay scared. Bye.